Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Someone who maintains and audits business accounts. A mechanism that controls the operation of a machine. The speed controller on his turntable was not working properly. A person who directs and restrains. Someone who maintains and audits business accounts. Someone who maintains and audits business accounts. Handle and cause to function. Control the lever. Exercise authoritative control or power over. Control the budget. Lessen the intensity of. Temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Control your anger. A standard against which other conditions can be compared in a scientific experiment. The control condition was inappropriate for the conclusions he wished to draw. Place under restrictions. Limit access to by law. This substance is controlled. Discipline in personal and social activities. She never lost control of herself. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Control the quality of the product. Maintain influence over others or oneself, skillfully, usually to one's advantage. She is a very controlling mother and doesn't let her children grow up. The state that exists when one person or group has power over another. Check or regulate a scientific experiment by conducting a parallel experiment or comparing with another standard. Are you controlling for the temperature? Great skillfulness and knowledge of some subject or activity. A mechanism that controls the operation of a machine. The speed controller on his turntable was not working properly. Have a firm understanding or knowledge of. Be on top of. Do you control these data? A relation of constraint of one entity, thing or person or group, by another. Measures for the control of disease. A spiritual agency that is assumed to assist the medium during a séance. Physiology, regulation or maintenance of a function or action or reflex, etc. The timing and control of his movements were unimpaired. Power to direct or determine. Under control. The activity of managing or exerting control over something. The control of the mob by the police was admirable. The economic policy of controlling or limiting or curbing prices or wages, etc. They wanted to repeal all the legislation that imposed economic controls. Verify by using a duplicate register for comparison. Control an account. A person who directs and restrains. A chemical that is added to a photographic developer in order to retard development and reduce the amount of fog on a film. A capitalist who engages in industrial commercial enterprise. Conforming to the standards and conventions of the middle class. A bourgeois mentality. A capitalist who engages in industrial commercial enterprise. A member of the middle class. According to Marxist thought, being of the property-owning class and exploitive of the working class. Belonging to the middle class. The atomic process that occurs during a chemical reaction. He determined unique mechanisms for the photochemical reactions. The technical aspects of doing something. A mechanism of social control. A natural object resembling a machine in structure or function. The mechanism of the ear. Device consisting of a piece of machinery, has moving parts that perform some function. Philosophy, the philosophical theory that all phenomena can be explained in terms of physical or biological causes. A human being. A human being. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. The immaterial part of a person, the actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. Someone who listens attentively. A qualified accountant who inspects the accounting records and practices of a business or other organization. A student who attends a course but does not take it for credit. Someone who records the transactions of a business. An accountant or bureaucrat who is believed to place undue emphasis on the control of expenditures. An accountant who has passed certain examinations and met all other statutory and licensing requirements of a United States state to be certified by that state. A specialist in the systematic recording and analysis of the costs incident to production. A British or Canadian accountant who is a member of a professional body that has a royal charter. An accountant who has passed certain examinations and met all other statutory and licensing requirements of a United States state to be certified by that state. A structure in a hollow organ, like the heart, with a flap to ensure one-way flow of fluid through it. Control consisting of a mechanical device for controlling the flow of a fluid. Device in a brass wind instrument for varying the length of the air column to alter the pitch of a tone. One of the paired hinged shells of certain mollusks and brachiopods. The entire one-piece shell of a snail and certain other mollusks. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. Switch to a different brand of beer. Control consisting of a mechanical or electrical or electronic device for making or breaking or changing the connections in a circuit. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. Cause to go on or to be engaged or set in operation. Switch on the light. The act of changing one thing or position for another. His switch on abortion cost him the election. An event in which one thing is substituted for another. Make a shift in or exchange of. First Joe led, then we switched. Exchange or give something in exchange for. Change over, change around, as to a new order or sequence. A basketball maneuver. Two defensive players shift assignments so that each guards the player usually guarded by the other. A flexible implement used as an instrument of punishment. Flog with or as if with a flexible rod. Hairpiece consisting of a tress of false hair, used by women to give shape to a coiffure. Railroad track having two movable rails and necessary connections, used to turn a train from one track to another or to store rolling stock. Control mechanism for keeping an automobile at a set speed. Computer science, a circuit or chip that translates commands into a form that can control a hard disk drive. Control consisting of a mechanical or electrical or electronic device for making or breaking or changing the connections in a circuit. Control consisting of a mechanical or electrical or electronic device for making or breaking or changing the connections in a circuit. A control that maintains a steady speed in a machine, as by controlling the supply of fuel. The head of a state government. A wheel worked by hand. Control consisting of a wheel whose rim serves as the handle by which a part is operated. A lever used by a pilot to control the ailerons and elevators of an airplane. A manual control consisting of a vertical handle that can move freely in two directions, used as an input device to computers or to devices controlled by computers. A control that maintains a steady speed in a machine, as by controlling the supply of fuel. An official responsible for control and supervision of a particular activity or area of public interest. Any of various controls or devices for regulating or controlling fluid flow, pressure, temperature, etc.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.